Howard Phillips Lovecraft, wishing to remind you that I am not in fact an automaton crafted by the Imagineers at Disney, although there are times when I wish. Today's question comes from Mr. Cirillo, who wants to know whether or not we can consider superheroes to be cultural icons worthy of study, or whether they should simply be dismissed as juvenilia. Before I truly launch into this subject, I would like to remind you that my initial mortal stint on this planet came to its conclusion shortly before superheroes arrived. Indeed, I believe that most iconic of figures, Superman, came into being about a year after I shuffled away. However, it did not take me long in my research to discover that in those intervening years, superheroes and their ilk have become ubiquitous, not only on the printed page, but in silver screen and all forms of art and cultural touchstones. There is something about these stories that obviously matters to people and has a enduring quality. And while, admittedly, there is something of adolescent wish fulfillment in their splashy colors and their simple storylines, I think there is something to them that cannot be dismissed or ignored. To my mind, superheroes manage to combine an American can-do-it spirit with some of the more enduring qualities of classical mythology. We see in these stories tales constantly recycled, changed, yes, but always returning to key themes and tropes. That planet will always be doomed. That alley will always be tragic and pearl-strewn. The lightning bolt will always strike. Much in the same way that classical myths tell themselves over and over again and yet maintain certain core truths. Let's look at Hercules as an example. Whether you're reading of his 12 trials or of his adventures with the Argonauts, he remains the same central figure. Admittedly, this is made complicated by the fact that Hercules is himself a green spandex-clad superhero, but nevertheless, the point stands. These stories endure, and that cannot be casually thrown away. Sometimes I wonder what it might have been like if I had lasted long enough to try my hand at writing these stories. But it is madness to travel down these rabbit holes of what if and maybe. Nevertheless, I think it is worth looking at these cultural icons and wondering just how future generations will perceive them as we perceive the tales of the classics. The same can certainly not be said for sparkling vampires. As always, I'm Howard Phillips Lovecraft. Thank you.